Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Happy Girls Guide for Being Whole book club by Teresa Kenny. I hope you are enjoying reading. We're on chapter 2 today, and this chapter is entitled What You Didn't Learn in Sex Ed. And if any of you have been around me much, you know that I'm pretty passionate about this topic. As I was 31 years old when I learned about what goes on in the woman's reproductive cycle. How old were you when you learned, or have you yet to even have that understanding? I think this education is so important because, as you read in the chapter, I think there's a lot of misconceptions and information that was left out of our sex education programs. When did that happen for you? I know that for myself, it was somewhere around middle school that we had maybe a one-day class about it, maybe one day in fifth grade, kind of about periods and that we would need products. I know that we were handed a little kit from Tampax, and that was it. And it was kind of in isolation. I was given the information at school, and it wasn't talked about at home with my parents. Now, fast forward to my daughter, who is now 10 years old. They gave the reproductive health talk at her Christian school one day before the last day of fourth grade. And I want to say, too, what does that show? It's somewhat shameful, like they don't want to talk about it more afterwards. So I have a couple of questions for you after reading this chapter. And I want to know, what is the most surprising fact that you learned in chapter 2? There was quite a few really exciting things, learning about how as a baby girl, you already have all of the eggs that you will ever produce in your lifetime already within you. She didn't say the gestational age, but it actually is 16 weeks. A baby girl already has all of the eggs she will ever produce. And then she also did mention where there's only a certain point of time in a woman's cycle that she can achieve a pregnancy. And I think that is one of the most left out topics, or possibly even a lie that is given to young people, telling them that anytime you have sex, you can achieve a pregnancy, which is absolutely not true. And that is a myth that needs to be dispelled. Okay, so tell me, what was the most surprising fact that you learned in chapter 2? And then the next question is, what type of sex education do you think is needed in school today? Now, it would be great if we had parents like myself who are very passionate about teaching this information to my children, but that's not the norm. So we do need this education in school. But what type of education do you think we need? And if you have a daughter, what do you think is the most important thing for you to teach to her? Okay. And I would like to say that the most important thing for me to teach my daughter is that her menstrual cycle, her ovulation cycle, her period are normal and good and signs of health. And that, I think, is the number one thing for her to understand. And that it is a fifth vital sign for her to understand how healthy she is. And if there is something that's abnormal, that we have caring doctors who will support and respect her natural function of ovulation in fixing the problem that might be there. Okay. Tonight, actually, I am going to be presenting the parent presentation for the Guiding Star Cycle show. I would definitely recommend that you join in. I do present this webinar for free at the last Tuesday of each month. So it'll be tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll put the link right down here below my video. And if you miss it tonight, it's not recorded, so you can join back in the next month. All right, I can't wait for you to jump over into the community and go to the thread for chapter 2 and share with us some of the answers to these questions and anything else that you felt inspired about chapter 2. I can't wait till next week when we get into chapter 3, where of course we talk about actually tracking your fertility. Of course, we're going to have lots to share there as well. Don't forget the different links for the Hormone Genius podcast, the different areas that Teresa Kenny has us dive deeper. There's some really great ones in there about endometriosis and polycystic ovaries. And if that's something that you deal with or something that a loved one deals with, you'll definitely want to check those podcasts out and even share them with friends that may benefit. All right, thanks so much and enjoy chapter 2 questions.